Hey y'all, welcome back to Bones Backyard Homestead. So, yes, I'm still waiting on the bathroom. I'm waiting on the tile, the custom order tile that I got. However, I'm running into a problem with storage space. I have this really huge garage that can't use much of it right now. And the problem is I have a lot of stuff inside. I got a lot of things in totes like this that I just need to make room for. So that way I can make room for things on the homestead. So that's what we're going to start working on today while we're waiting on the tile for the bathroom. We're just going to start. What I figured out already is I got a clear path right here and it's 6 feet off the wall. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shrink down my garage by 6 feet. I'm going to put a solid wall running all the way down. And what I'm going to do is on the inside of this little 6 foot room is I'm going to build somewhat of a storage slash pantry area, and I'll be able to put these totes in there. Be able to put my beehives in there. Whatever I need, I can put on in there. I can put my canning supplies in there. I can put some of my cast iron that I don't use very often in there. Making more room on the homestead. That's what this is about. So I'm going to start this project today. It's not going to be one of those that it's there and done in one day. It's going to give me something to do while I'm waiting on the tile to arrive for the bathroom. So let's get going. All right, the first thing I need to do is figure out my layout. Now, this garage is 19.5 feet wide, and I want to put a 36-inch door right in the middle. So that automatically takes out 36 inches right there. So that leaves me 99 inches on both sides to lay out. So what I need to do is I need to get a top plate and a bottom plate cut at 99 inches. I'm going to be doing something slightly different than what I would normally recommend somebody. I'm going to be using a pressure treated plate, bottom plate, on the concrete. The reason why I said I don't normally would do that is because a lot of people say that the pressure treated lumber has chemicals inside of it that are going to be constantly off-gassing, and you don't want that inside your house. However, this is not inside my house, this is inside my garage. There's already toxic fumes from cars and everything else going on in here. I don't think pressure treated lumber off-gassing is going to be a bad thing, and I want that on that concrete, that way it lasts a little bit longer. It is that ground contact pressure treated lumber. So I'm going to cut one of those out, and then I'm going to cut out a regular pine 2x4 and 99 inches, and then I'm going to start laying it out. My plan for layout is just going to be simple: 16 inches on center. I'll have one at the start up against the back wall, and then every 16 inches coming up to it. Now, for those that are good at math and can think of that right off the top of their head, the last one would end at 96 inches, correct. So, ending at 96 inches, but I just said I wanted to go 99. So I'm going to put another stud there at 99. So, let's at least get the bottom plate and top plate laid out, marked up, and I don't have the room to build the wall and then stand it up. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go ahead and anchor in the bottom plate using concrete anchors, and then I will end up having to mark a line on the drywall ceiling and cut that drywall ceiling out with my trusty, my helpful, handy, I don't know what you want to call it. It's for me, I use the Ryobi one. It's the like a is there even a name on it? Nope. But this is what I use. I use it a lot. It's one of my favorite tools, honestly. It cuts through that drywall just quick and easy. Make sure that if you're doing something like this that you check for any kind of electrical work up in there. I can see for a fact right there that I do have an electrical, a light right there, and the wire is going back this way. However, I'm not too worried about it being right up against the stud, or right up against the drywall. Normally they would put that up an inch or two. So I'll come through here and zip that off all the way down, and then I'll actually have exposed joists that I can put my top plate to. Then I'll measure my vertical studs and get those cut. And I will be using my Craig jig I'll be using my Craig jig to help with the toe nailing. It is a little excessive to be using the Craig jig for toe nailing. However, I just want this to go nice and smooth, and I think that'll be my best thing. So let's get at it. I've talked enough. All right, as you guys can see, I got the framework put up already, and now it's time to build the shelves. Now, I saw somebody else do this, and I really liked the way they were doing it, so I'm just going to kind of mimic their style. And what they did was they took 2x2, which is really 1.5 by 1.5 inches, and they built these into the frame and then rest the plywood on top of it. So far, what I did so far was I just went ahead and countersunk 2 screws, and what I did was I measured every 16 inches down from the ceiling. That way I have a tote, 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 tote. I'll have 4 totes and then a bigger shelf on the bottom. That way I can put something bigger that I might have, maybe a bucket or something. And what I'm going to do is put them in here like this, and I'll use my speed square wherever I set it down for a second. I'll use my speed square, get that thing nice and level, screw it in, and then I'll come back around and screw the fronts on it, and then put the plywood on top of it. So it should be a fairly quick process, so let's just get at it. All right, so the plan now is to put these little brackets up, and I actually put some, use the Craig jig again, put some pockets in there, and these are going to get screwed to the 2x4 and then screwed up into the frame, and that's going to help support all the weight. All right, folks, so that is day 1 of this project, and it's already making a big difference. I'm going to show you the concrete floor first. So as you can remember, all those totes were stacked up behind the tile saw, and I barely could walk through this area. Now in this area over here, I still have the walkway. I do have about a foot between the Mustang and the wall. Eventually, when I can move the Mustang forward, I will drywall the back side of this and actually make it a sealed room. Now, just to see some of the stuff I put in here just for now. Now I still have to, what I want to do is I still want to sort through this stuff, but for right now, it's just getting it up off the floor. That way I can actually, when I have time, I'll actually do it. So the totes across the ceiling, they overhang a little bit. My original plan was to have them turned sideways, but it looked like they were taking up too much space that way. And with them being, I mean, I still got a couple inches above my head, so that's fine for those. I got my bee boxes, my beehive boxes. Got a lot of my gardening supplies, some stains, some spare tools, the camping jug, woodworking tools. Edge planer I don't use quite often enough to actually have it out on the workbench. And these buckets is what I'm talking about. I really want to go through them. There's probably a lot of scrap metal in there and tools that just need to actually be organized and put in the toolbox. Now on this side, I still need to figure out what I want to do. I'm thinking about doing more shelves on this side, move this toolbox either into the middle or put it out into the shop. It might just be better for it to stay right in the middle. That way, as you come through the door, the tool's right there. Just have it offset of the window. And like I said before, on this side of this workbench is actually going to come out to the outside of the wall. And then where this workbench is at, I'll do shelving of some sort, but I'll have big enough room for myself to put my 3D printer, my laser engraver, and whatever else I can think of that I might have in there. Maybe just like a nice, good working surface. I might actually take that workbench and put it up against here, because the only thing that workbench is for is the lathe, the sander, and the bandsaw. Who knows? Maybe not. We'll play with it here. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, this is, like I said, I just wanted to get this project started because I'm still waiting on tile for the bathroom. So until that happens, I don't want to just sit around and do nothing. And this was a project that, you know, I could knock out this first half of it in one day and not have a problem, and actually give myself more walking room in here. Like, you guys would not believe how rough it was to walk in here. I was climbing over things and stepping over things and just waiting to hurt myself. And now I don't have to worry about that. So I still have a lot of work to go. So stay tuned and let's see what happens on the next time.